There they go. They are just now lifting off, and they are on the roof of the van.
Dramatic rescues throughout the Las Vegas area as motorists quickly became stranded in the fast-moving water. In one case, a man risked his own life by wading into the rushing water to help the driver and a disabled passenger in this Mercedes. The floods, the worst in 15 years, literally overwhelmed the region's flood control system. It washed right over roads and even broke away chunks of the retaining walls themselves. McCarran Airport shut down for nearly an hour. On the Las Vegas Strip, there were some scattered power outages, and the floodwaters overflowed sidewalks, flowing right into the artificial lake in front of the new Bellagio Hotel. Mark Sayer, News 13, inside Las Vegas.
The day after the valley's torrential rainfall, many neighborhoods are still underwater. People who live in these homes near Nellis and Sahara can't even get their cars in or out of their driveways. At the Charleston underpass, cleanup crews work around the clock, scraping feet of mud and debris from the road. Many valley residents were out this morning getting a look at the extensive damage for themselves. Areas near the Flamingo Wash were especially hard hit. The parking structure of this apartment complex near Katy and Spencer eroded and collapsed from the force of the powerful waters. Out at Lake Las Vegas, the subsiding waters gave work crews a chance to dredge out the pipeline leading to Lake Mead. Yesterday, the clogged pipe caused water to back up, sending millions of gallons of brown water into the exclusive man-made lake. No homes were damaged, but it was a close call. With the pipeline now clear, the flood runoff water is finally making its way into Lake Mead, but it could be months before the valley fully recovers from the tremendous downpour.
So 2 years ago, the South African government decided that more
This is my first experience of not seeing a flood. I've seen floods before here.
The Sunset Motel on Boulder Highway used to host workers from the Hoover Dam, but this 25-room motel served as a dam when floodwaters rushed in. The owners of the motel say a wall of water came from the west in this direction, bringing all of this mud with it, now covering most of their property. It blanketed the parking lot and flooded every room. Now the owners need help.
We would like to apply for any type of aids.
So would a lot of others in the valley, including homeowners. That's why the county declared a disaster, to get the wheels of government rolling.
The first rule of thumb is that you have to say this is a disaster, and the reason it's an emergency is we don't have the money to fix it at the local level.
Which means another declaration will be made by Gwynn and sent on to the federal government, which is when FEMA and the SBA, the Small Business Administration, is alerted to also pitch in funds.
And Small Business Administration doesn't just mean help to businesses. They're involved in providing low-interest loans to homeowners who have experienced damage that's not compensated by insurance.
But no one gets involved until a complete damage assessment is finished. Officials estimate that will be done by next week.
All of a sudden it went, and I thought someone was pushing or something.
Another home at the Miracle Mile Park falls into the Flamingo Wash.
All of a sudden it just like a slow motion. It just went right in.
I've never seen it this bad. Never seen any of the trailers go in like they have this time. It's a disaster, real disaster.
It's the worst valley flooding in more than a decade. Nevertheless, some homeowners say the damage could have been prevented.
It should not have happened. Somebody is to blame for this. This isn't an act of God. This is an act of negligence.
The Blasco family has owned the park property for 35 years. And all that time, Clark County officials say they've asked for permission to make the wash more safe.
We have asked on numerous occasions to come in and let us at least clean out the growth that's within that wash, and he has declined to do that.
I think it's a shame. Of course, we often wondered why they cemented the wash up to Mojave and didn't come this side, but now we know.
But some say the county should have taken extra legal measures to enforce more flood control, because lives are at stake.
It's sad. It's really sad it happened. And I'm devastated for these families, you know. But I feel the county is just as much to blame as the park is.
Kelly Aquino, News 13. With every step is the sound of water. At its worst, the level was 4 feet high.
The way the water was coming up and it wasn't going down, that's what was scaring me. Even after the rain stopped, the water kept rising.
We feel like we've been treated like second-hand citizens.
Residents say the flooding mess wouldn't have been so bad if city officials had blocked off traffic on Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Okay, when the cars would come by, great big semi-trucks, They had no way to go, so they went down Martin Luther King. And when they would splash, it'd be like 3, 4, 5-foot waves come up and envelop our whole front yard.
It would send a wave that almost went through my entire window. So it was like a 5-foot wave almost.
Public work crews have since cleared the nearby drainage, but admit the problem won't be completely solved until they're done with a $34 million flood control project along Interstate 15. And that will take a couple of years. Meanwhile, Virginia Pastore keeps cleaning and hoping someone will learn from their loss.
I just hope that when I get ready to put all this carpeting in, I don't have to worry about this disaster coming again.
Kelly Aquino, News 13, inside Las Vegas.